Hello, Early Head Start friends. Welcome to Tot Time, Halloween edition. I have some fun activities to share with you today, so let's get started. The first activity I want to show you, all of you received our toy boxes, and in those toy boxes were some fun little animal figurines. And many of them you use them for counting and matching colors, identifying colors. But with these, you can do a fun little pattern experiment. And then also if you have any cars too. So what I would do with these is I paint the bottoms of them or dip them in the paint and stamp them on the paper, just like that. So I'll show you my paper. And it makes all different shapes. So whatever, you don't have to use the animals. You can use a car, roll it through the paint, and then you can see the pattern from the wheels on the paper as well too. But just a fun little activity to do with the paper and the animals and the paint. Okay. And that will, has the fine motor skills of the grasping and the dunking and the rolling. And then you can work on the colors with the different paint colors or the animal colors. You can match the paint to the animal. So some different activities you can do with those. The next activity that we have, we're going to take a small pumpkin, and we have now golfing tees work really well too. So today I have just these little plastic toothpicks that have a shape of a heart on the end of them, but a regular toothpick will work fine. It's a fine motor activity to put in here. So I'm going to take the toothpick and I'm going to poke it into the hole. And then I actually have a block, a puzzle piece, and they can pound it in with the puzzle piece, kind of like a nail and hammer activity. And then you can go around the pumpkin too. Go around the pumpkin, around the pumpkin. Go around, and you can put as many in as you want, right? So it's all up to the kid. These are all child-led activities. You obviously want to assist them because the toothpicks or the whatever you decide to use can be a little pointy. But they go pretty well inside the pumpkin. So push those in. And then I have, you can use yarn, string. Some people use rubber bands to go from toothpick to toothpick or golf tee to golf tee, and you can create a design with the rubber bands. But I just have yarn today, so I'm going to tie a little knot around the one of the toothpicks. And you can do that for your child. Tie it around there, and then you can give them the end of it, and they can go through and create a looping pattern. So loop, around and a loop, round and a loop. And one thing you can do for Halloween, you can make a spider web. So if you go down, keep going down around the pumpkin, and then you can just loop it. Show them how to loop it around. And we do some threading activities too, so that will work on their fine motor activities as well too. But you can see that I started making a cobweb, spider web. And that doesn't take paint, right? And that's kind of more of a less messy play activity. Okay, so a couple things that I have done with my pumpkins. One that does not include having to use paint. I'm going to make a witch. Okay, so with the witch, you take the pumpkin and you turn it on its side. Okay, just like this. Set it on the table. And then we need some hair, right? So there's multiple options you can do with the hair. So we could use the yarn again, cut the pieces of the yarn. Or I have streamer. So you can buy streamer, or even if you're a home visitor, they can provide you the arts and crafts as well too. And it's fun because your child can help. You're going to measure it out, and all you do is rip, right? Rip it off. And then you're going to measure, lay it on top like that. And then you're going to take it and measure and rip. So no scissors. You can use scissors if they're practicing with scissors. Definitely let them use the scissors. The younger kiddos, starting to rip and work on those fine motor activities. Lay it across the top. And I have tape, so all you need is some tape. You can even use a little, if you have a stapler, you can staple with the tape, but I just tape the hair to the top of the pumpkin, okay? Tape it to the top of the pumpkin, just like that. Again, you want some going down the back, so take a piece of tape, tape it to the top of the pumpkin. And while you're doing this activity, you can pre-measure and rip, tear apart, cut, whatever you're going to do with your streamer. And then you can lay them out and count them. You can have them work on which is the longer of the, longer of the streamer lines. Different activities with that. So now we have some hair on our pumpkin. So there's our witch, and she's got some purple hair. And look at that long nose. And then I actually just found this at the dollar store. And I was just laying around our house because we have a lot of Halloween decorations. So I just take it and put it on the top, just like that. And I taped it down from the back. So we'll just put some tape along the edges of it and get it to stick to the streamer, like so. Just like that. And then you can use marker to draw the eyes and the mouth. I'm just going to use a little black paint to put some eyes on my witch. Make little circles, and you can identify, oh, that's an oval, right? Oh, good job, oval. Or if they do circles or even lines. And then down here, this is going to look like an upside down rainbow, right? Upside down rainbow is a happy face. So I have a happy witch. She's got purple hair, a dollar store hat, and you can even actually, to make a hat, you can even use some cardboard you have around, make a little funnel, toilet paper rolls to put over to the top. Just get creative. And it's all about the process. So it's just fun process. I know we're showing a lot of products, but it's really all in the fun of making the different things, and whatever your kiddo decides to do is up to them, right? And enjoy it. Enjoy the process with them. Okay, I do have another pumpkin. This is my Olaf pumpkin. So Olaf, I just painted the pumpkin all white, right? Okay. And then now keep in mind too, if you don't have a regular paintbrush, I used a shaving brush for the shave cream that you could put on the face. It's actually it's a nice gripping. So if you have a tiny toddler that under 1 or something, it's really good for that because they're fisting instead of holding it like a pencil. So this would be the grip that you use for more advanced painting and also pencil. I also have a toothbrush, so I use the toothbrush too. Dip it in the paint, and then let them paint the pumpkin with it. It works really well. Also, Q-tips work really well too, and those are kind of for like the little details. And then for Olaf, we just put a face on him, whatever face they want to do, right? And then I have a carrot, a piece of real carrot here, and I just broke it off. My little thing got stuck in there. Broke it off, and I put a toothpick in it. So you put a toothpick inside your carrot, and then you take the other end that's pointing out and stick it in, and then you have Olaf with a carrot nose. So that's a fun little easy pumpkin painting activity. And then I always keep my handy wipes. Wipes are so handy for everything, so I just keep them, and the paint washes off pretty easily as long as you're using the washable paint. Even if you use acrylic or some other kind of paint, that's fine too. Okay, so we've done all of our activities so far. We have one more activity. This is my science experiment. So you can have your kiddo help you measure and dump, but all I have done, I'm going to bring this over here for you to look at. This is my giant pumpkin. So I just cut, it's going to be a volcano. So an exploding volcano pumpkin. Cut a little hole in the top. You do not have to clean it out. I did clean it out, but we're going to go over that in a minute. But you find the bowl that you want to use and cut the size of the bowl in the top. So one thing you don't want to cut it too big, the bowl falls in. And also the foam and stuff will go inside the pumpkin. And that can be fine. And you can cut a hole in the front of the pumpkin too, and it will come out that way. So you can get creative with this. But you're going to take your baking soda. I didn't measure this out. I just dumped it in. So I'm going to dump it in. If you want to look exactly measure, I think it'll be hard because the reaction, you add a little, take a little bit away. So it's kind of like a trial and error type thing. And I do have a spoon, or here, let's use my, and I just take the end of my paintbrush and kind of mix that up, loosen up the baking soda a little bit in the bottom. And I'll show you, there's my baking soda. I dumped it's probably about a half cup in there, I'd say, because we want this to explode over the side of the pumpkin. Next, we are going to put dish soap on top. So you're going to cover all of the baking soda with dish soap. Now we're doing this because the soap causes more foamy bubbles. So we're going to take the soap and we're going to just dump it in, cover the top of the baking soda. Kind of just like that. I'd say that's like a quarter cup maybe. And then we're going to take our vinegar and we're going to dump our vinegar in. Now this vinegar, I did put food coloring in, so it should be blue, covering the outside of the pumpkin. Kind of mix it up a little bit, and we're going to see what happens. Here we go. And you want to leave some of the baking soda showing because that's where the reaction lies, is within the vinegar and the baking soda. And I just used a cookie sheet underneath, and then I had some parchment paper. You don't need the parchment paper, and you can do this outside too. So let's see what happens. We're going to dump it. Dump it, dump it, dump it, dump it. Oh my goodness. There it goes. You see? It's kind of tilting. There we go. Look at all that foam. And you can keep pouring too. The more vinegar and the more baking soda reaction. Mine's kind of going inside the pumpkin also because my hole is a little bit bigger than the cup that I made. But there you go. That's our exploding volcano. And if you want to do it a little bit different too, you can put the cup in further so you can't see the top of it. And you can change the food coloring to have any color you want. So that's our exploding pumpkin, our volcano pumpkin, I call it. So I'm going to set this stuff aside and remove the pumpkin out of the way. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the inside of the pumpkin. So a fun activity, sensory, would be to, allow the child to get their hands dirty. So here we have some of the pumpkin insides along with the seeds. It's cold, right? Generally, pumpkins are sitting outside and it's cold. So they're getting to experience the different sensations of the coldness, the sliminess, right? And exposing them to all kinds of different textures is really important at a young age. And then we have all the pumpkin seeds as well too. So some of us like to cook the pumpkin seeds. So we actually dried ours out last night and they're sitting on the counter and we are going to bake them in the oven today. And you can look up at Google. I'm not completely sure how long you have to bake them. Usually if they're wet, you bake them a lot longer. And for me, I think it's 250 is what I set it at, or 300, and I bake them because you don't want them to burn up quickly. You want them to dry out in the oven. And there's a lot of benefits to eating pumpkin seeds. So pumpkin seeds are packed with protein, right? They're packed with antioxidants, all the good stuff, nutrients for our bodies. So I would encourage to just try it. Try it once. We put cinnamon sugar on ours. We also do just sea salt. You can do all kinds of different ingredients and tastes for your pumpkin seeds, but in the end, it's just a nice little crunchy treat that is healthy for you, a healthy snack. And you can get a lot of pumpkin seeds out of one pumpkin. So this is just a little bit out of our pumpkin. But yeah, so enjoy your pumpkin seeds and enjoy your Halloween activities with your pumpkins or painting activities, whatever craft you decide to do with your kiddos. Have fun and enjoy the process of it. Thank you for joining me, Tot Time Halloween Edition.